Yeah, we're live.
Hey, welcome, folks. It is 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on a Monday, and it looks like this is going to be our slot weekly to do arbitrage Q&A and to talk about arbitrage and to discuss some of the tools that you can use to move arbitrage forward, including ROI Scanner, which is our YouTube channel here, and a new tool that Just One Dime has come out with, and Alan has worked really hard to produce, and we are excited to promote. So, Alan, say hello to everybody.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm happy to be here and always excited to share some of our experience with you guys and maybe answer some questions. So if you guys are here live, just let us know on the comments your name, where you're connecting from, and if you have any questions, feel free to post them, and we'll try to answer your questions today.
Yeah, that's right. Anytime we can generate questions, we're happy to answer them and to try to help you do whatever you need to do to move your business forward and to be able to add margin. My name's Eric. I've been doing arbitrage selling on Amazon for about 7 years. It's consistently grown and been something that I have been excited about and has worked. And so Alan and I are both convinced that the arbitrage model is very effective, that you can really use it to gain margin and add margin to your budget. And we just want to talk a little bit today about going back to the basics and trying to keep it simple. We see a lot of members that I don't know, they're trying to kind of overreach in the very beginning by maybe bringing certain fancy approaches to pass where we see them kind of beating their head against a wall where we kind of think the KISS acronym is sometimes apropos. Keep it simple, stupid, and that's helpful for me to just keep it simple. I want to say hi to Claire and Shane. Welcome with us. I'm glad you joined. By the way, congratulations.
Congratulations.
They were the recipients of Just One Dime's giveaway, the free Tesla. So that's really exciting. I was just asking Alan when Seth was going to start giving Teslas to the coaches.
Yeah, I'm waiting for mine.
Yeah, me too. But I was just very excited to see you guys receive that, and so I'm excited about that. Excited for you guys, and
not a bad week for you guys.
Yeah, that's right. I hope in a couple of years you look back and that's kind of a testament to what really helped you launch your business, because I know you've been plugging away.
Yeah.
And hopefully in due time you really see the fruits of that. So put some questions on there, and we'll be happy to try to help you guys. Next time you're in Vermont, we'll talk about that. Although I'd love to be in Arizona this time of year. It's not nearly as cold as it is here. It was 1 degree Fahrenheit when I woke up this morning. Well, so keeping it simple. There's a couple approaches to that. If you're doing retail arbitrage, I try to think in 3 concentric circles. And so to me, if I'm ever wanting to kind of reset and get back to the basics, I'm thinking, what's the health of that first immediate circle, which for me are retail locations that I can get to in less than 15 or 20 minutes via car. Now I'm in a somewhat rural area because I'm in Vermont, but I can do a significant number of stops with a 15 to 20 minute radius. And I try to hit those stores on a weekly basis. Some weeks I'm devoting more time to my Amazon business, and other times I'm devoting less because I try to manage that among my church work and my family. I have a wife and 4 kids and other things like that. But in general, I can really target all the stores within a 15 to 20 minute radius every week. And so it can be helpful for me to just reset and think, have I been doing that? Because if I'm doing that on a regular basis, I'm certainly going to unearth really good opportunities. Now, there might be a week that I visit a lot of stores and I don't really find anything, but then there might be a week when I find significant discoveries and it really moves my business. So on the average, I find that opportunities are quite available, and I'm grateful for that. Now, if I want to move out another concentric circle, I try to think, what are places that I can get to within an hour or so? For example, there's a second Walmart if I drive 45 minutes north. Now, there's only 2 Walmarts in the whole state of Vermont. Wow. One of them's about 10 minutes away. The other one's about 45 minutes away. And if I go to that second circle, I can hit that Walmart and a bunch of other stores. And I typically try to do that once a month with the same kind of principle. And then the third concentric circle for me would be taking a full day and driving 3 or 4 hours to a neighboring city. For me, Albany, New York is an example of that. I've done other locations as well. And I'll, typically take the seats out of the minivan, take a whole day and just arbitrage up and down the I-84 corridor. And so I think that can be helpful for our viewers to just think through, how can I do retail arbitrage in that way? Now, Alan, when you think of online arbitrage, and we really recommend, if you're able, that you divide your business, focus on RA and OA. Now, I know some of you are internationally located and you're selling in the US and you can't do retail arbitrage in the US. So then you would just focus on OA. But if you can, do both. And so, Alan, I'd love to hear you speak to kind of resetting and going back to basics when it comes to online arbitrage, and anything else you want to throw in there.
Sure. Yeah. For me, I think that the biggest struggle that I see a lot of people that are starting is, of course, when we start selling, we decide that we want to go and look for products at the different stores, either online or retail. We immediately start thinking about the big brands, right? So we start looking at Nike and other brands that we might want to sell, but we find that a lot of these big brands are restricted for us as a new seller. And I think that's the biggest struggle that I see other sellers, trying to figure out, how can I sell these big brands, because everything I scan in the store, is restricted for me. But I think it's because we are looking, or we're thinking about all of these big brands, and we don't really spend a lot of time looking at brands that are not very popular. So for me, going back to basics for me means looking at thinking about arbitrage in a different way. And instead of looking at, how can I get this brand or this category open for me or ungated, how can I, what can I sell? Just focus on what can I sell? And then, if I start looking at things that I can sell, I'm going to start finding these brands or these, categories that they're open. There's a lot of products that I can find there. But I haven't really been paying attention to those because I'm thinking about, Nike and Adidas and other big brands. So one thing that I always recommend, our members is start finding, start focusing on things that I can sell. What can I sell on my account today? And then get a list of brands that you can, sell. And a lot of them are going to be, they're not going to be very popular, but there's some brands that, they're not very popular, but they have, 200, 300, 500 different SKUs that they sell on Walmart, they sell on Target, on different, big retail stores. And once we have a list of, let's say, 5 or 10 different brands, then you go to these stores and you start looking for these brands, because you know that you're going to be able to sell them on your store, and you know that you're going to be able to find them in different retail stores. So that's kind of like the way that I usually recommend people to start thinking about, and then you're gonna start finding a lot of products that way.
Yeah, to me, brand popularity isn't really relevant. It's what does the bestseller rank look for a particular item, and so there are a gazillion brands on Amazon that are having success with sales, and so you're taking it item by item, and you're having to find items that you can also get at a clearance price. So rather than kind of being driven by a preset sense that I need to be able to sell Nike or I need to be able to sell this, what I would advocate is really get out there and work the territory where you think you can find discounted products. And if you run into products that you're restricted in, just accept that as a no. Pretend that item hadn't even existed in the first place. And I think if you can have that mindset, it's really helpful. It doesn't really do any good if you scan a product and you're restricted in it to kind of pause and meditate on how good that product would be if you could sell it. Because now, to me, that's wasted energy and it's wasted time, because you're living in the realm of the hypothetical, and often connected to the hypothetical is anxiety and frustration and a bunch of emotional trouble that just kind of drains your resources. And so, if I scan a product and I'm I'm restricted. Now we've said this before, and we'll say it again. If you encounter a restriction, our advice is to request to have that restriction lifted.
Right.
Apply for approval, because the more you sell, the more opportunities you're going to have to get automatic approval, which means Amazon will immediately ungate you in regard to that restriction. And there's plenty of times where I'm in the store, I scan a product, I'm restricted, but the product would work if I was ungated. And so I apply, and when it automatically approves me, I put the item in my shopping cart. But there's also plenty of times when I try to do that and it doesn't get ungated, and then I just want to move on. I don't want to sit there and kind of wallow and waste time and energy. And so there are tons of products out there that you have opportunity to sell. And I think what Alan and I are saying is go lay hands on those, get a hold of those products, and do your best to sell those, find and sell those. And then as you gain experience with your Amazon sellers account and get more performance history, you're going to have better opportunity. I see Chan with us. I see David with us. I'm grateful you guys are on board.
And I think at the beginning you're gonna notice that if you apply for to get approval on a product or a brand, maybe 90% of the time you're not gonna get an automatic approval. But as you start building your sales history with products that you can sell, and you focus on finding more of those, then the percentage of automatic approval is going to start getting bigger. Right now in my account, I still get about 15-20% of the time that I don't get automatic approval, but it's still there's a lot of brands that are not going to allow me to sell, even though I have a lot of sales history. But it's all through time, and I think that's the best for me. It's the easiest way to just build a business. Just look at products that you can sell, find those brands that you can sell, and then just go to Amazon. To Walmart or other stores, and just start looking for those products.
What's one way that you found a ROI scanner to really fit into this particular approach?
Yeah, so the way that I've been using ROI scanner, for example, if I know that I have a brand that I can sell, so let me just I'm gonna share my screen real quick. So I'm just gonna go to just to any category, just to kind of see. There's two different ways that you can do it. So I'm gonna go here to personal care, and I'm just gonna go to vitamins and supplements. And one of the things that I do is I like to find products and just look at the products and see if I can sell them. So for example, I'm here at this subcategory. There's about 1,000 products that I can analyze. So I'm just going to start analyzing a few of them. And the first thing that I'm doing is I'm looking for a product that has potential profit, but it's very easy for me to find. So in this case, there's a lot of different, options for this product. So it's giving me a search result. So I'm just gonna skip that, and then I go to the next one. Here's one that the Amazon listing has a 3 pack of 3. So it probably doesn't have any profit. So it doesn't have any profit once, it's a 3 pack. So I just keep jumping to the next one. This one doesn't have any profit, and I just go and do this, until I find something with profit. Once I find something with profit, then I'm gonna look at the product and see if I can sell it. If I can sell, let's say just for an example, I find this one has profit. Let's just say, for example, that this was selling for $23. So I found something with profit. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look and see if this product has if I can sell this product. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go to this brand. So this is Nature's Bounty, and I'm just gonna go and start looking at this product. So this product, this brand has 800 different products here on Amazon, on Walmart. So now I can just go, okay, now I know I can sell this product. I found something with good profit margin. Now I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna start, and I have 800 products that I could analyze, and that I might be able to find something with profit. So instead of just keep, just jumping around and trying to find something, just, just any kind of product, I'm just going to focus on this brand because I know this brand is a good potential brand that I could find something with profit, and I know I can sell it. So I just, jump and kind of see if the brand has. Here's one, but it doesn't have a lot of margin. But then I just do that, and then if I don't find anything here, then I just go, okay, I know that maybe I didn't find anything there, but I'm gonna go to Target and see if I can find something in Target. And I just
And I say this each week, but the cool thing is there's a Chrome extension. ROI scanner gets embedded right in the retail website. So you've looked at all these Natured Bounty products and you've never even left the Walmart.com website, which is just so helpful when you're using a tool like this. And it's part of what gets me really excited about ROI scanner. There's no other tool that does this right in the retail website.
Exactly. So now I found some, let's say, following the example, I'm still looking at the same brand. I came to another store and I have 67 other products that I could look. Here's one that has profit. See?
And what's the profit margin on that one?
187%.
Now, Alan, David is asking what a good profit margin is. How would you answer that?
For me, the lowest I'm willing to do when I buy the product is 40%. I know, with 40% and let's say $5 or $7 profit, I know that I can bring this product to my store, and even if I have to compete with other sellers, and maybe at the end I'm gonna sell it with maybe 30-35% ROI. That's still a good product for me. But ideal product for me, it's going to be something with more than 40%, 60, 80, 100%. Like in this case, here's one that is $5.99. It's a 2-pack. So I'm going to click here for 2, and I still have 121% ROI. So now
that's a no-brainer. When you're seeing over 100% ROI, that's
exactly
several exclamation points. But you're saying if you're between 40 and 100%, it's still something that you really want to move forward with.
Right. And now, as you see, I'm finding products with good profit, but I'm just looking at this brand because I already know that I can sell it. So I guess at the beginning, at the beginning, nobody, we don't really know if we can sell anything. So the first step for me is I'm gonna go and make sure I find a few products, a few brands that I know I can sell on my store. And then I'm going to take that brand and look for that brand on any store. So now I'm looking at Walmart. Then I jump to Target. Then I jump to another store that I know I might be able to find it. And that's usually what I do. Same with other categories like home and tools or home improvement. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to jump between Home Depot, Lowe's, other different stores that you might find the same kind of products. But instead of just looking at everything, I'm going to look at the brands that I know I can sell.
Alan, have you ever had an experience doing online arbitrage where you find a product on one website that you can buy and make money on doing arbitrage through Amazon, and then you go and look for that exact same product on other websites and find it again at a discounted rate? In other words, have you been able to find the same product on multiple websites?
Yes, we do. I do, and usually the way that I run my business is I usually just buy. I know your model is a little bit different. Maybe when I talk about how do you do it, your business, but my model is the first time that I sell a product, I want to buy only 2 or 3 items, and I'm gonna send them to Amazon, and then if I see that they sell fast, meaning within 30 days or less than 60 days, then I'm gonna start looking for that same product in different stores. And sometimes I'm gonna find the same product in Target, the same product in Walmart, so I can buy maybe 5, 7, 10 units. And then if they keep selling, then I keep increasing the amount of items that I sell. And sometimes I have a few products that I sell 30, 40, 50 units a month, and I can buy them at different stores. But I don't go and I buy the first time that I find something. I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna clear the shelf and buy whatever they have. I know your approach is a little bit different. I remember those, what was it, coffee makers that you purchased like 200, 300 units. But
550.
how many?
550.
Yeah. So I've never got to that point where I know I feel very comfortable, buying 500 units on one product, different variations and things like that. But usually that's the way that I do it, and I've been able to find some products that I can buy on different stores.
Yeah. I ask because I know in the retail arbitrage world that often can happen. So when I, here locally, I've got two Lowe's that I can get to. One's 10 minutes away, one's maybe 20 minutes away. But very often, if I find a really good deal at the first Lowe's, I go to the second Lowe's and can find the same deal. And so maybe if I only find 5 at the first one and I'd be willing to buy more, maybe I can find another 5 at the second one. There's also a local drugstore here. It's only a New England drugstore. And I bet 9 times out of 10, if I find a deal at one, I can find a deal at all of them. And I know of about 10 that I can get to in a reasonable amount of time. And so it just happened last week. I found a couple really good products, and there's one like 2 minutes from my house right across the street from the post office that I go to all the time. So I let that kind of be my gauge. If I find new arbitrage products in that drugstore that really work well, it's kind of a clue to me, like, okay, it's time to make the rounds to all the other drugstores of the same retailer. And inevitably I find the same product at all of them. And I am willing to go pretty deep. I mean, to me, if I have a confidence-based analyzing of the product, the BSR is low, the ROI is high, and it's something that I'm really confident about, that I'm happy to get 20, 30, 40 of them if I can. Now, with that example where I went 550, I bought about 100 the first time, and that's still maybe not a conservative number in your mind, but I did buy 100 and I blew through 100 of them in like 1 month. Yeah. And so when I bought the 550, I had an extremely high level of confidence that they were going to work. And the ROI on those things was around 200%. It was a deal that I couldn't pass up. And right. The first and only time I've ever taken out a business loan to do something like that with arbitrage. But I'm really glad that I did it. I want to address Shane's question. It's a good question. He's asking what apps and extensions that ROI Scanner will replace. It will replace RevSeller, because when Alan used it, you could see that the calculator is right in there, and there's RevSeller-like features. You can click and go immediately to your Amazon Seller Central account. It tells you whether or not you're restricted or able to sell a particular product. There's a lot built in right there. It pulls in the ASIN and the dimensionality and the weight of the product, those things that ROI Scanner does. It can also replace Keepa, because built into ROI Scanner are the graphs which will allow you to analyze products over time. The nice thing about Keepa is it gives you more than just a punctiliar look. If I scan a product with my smartphone, it's giving me a snapshot of the BSR and the margin and the competitors of that product right now. Keepa allows you to expand that and look over the course of 6 months or a year or whatever. What does this product do over the course of time, which is really helpful. I do think, Shane, that the better question to ask, so it will replace those. And if you just purchased RevSeller, that might be a deterrent in your mind. But to me, the reason you purchase ROI Scanner isn't to replace those other tools. Now, I think that's a side benefit, because if you don't have to renew your subscription to RevSeller, you save yourself $100, next year if you've already got ROI Scanner. But I think you get ROI Scanner because you're convinced it's going to really help you efficiently scan products within the retail website. So the cool thing about ROI Scanner is you go to HomeDepot.com, and while you're right in HomeDepot.com, ROI Scanner is doing the work for you, and you can see how quick, when you get used to it, how quick Alan can pop through the tabs. And so it gains you efficiency and allows you to work quickly through products that aren't just clearance products. And the cool thing about this is anyone who's used a ROI Scanner has seen how they can really find a strong increase in replenishable products, because you're not having to just go to clearance sections. It enables you to work quickly and efficiently enough that you can find replenishable products. So my opinion is that you purchase and start using ROI Scanner because it works in that way as a really helpful arbitrage tool. And then kind of a couple of the bennies on the side is that you don't have to renew these other tools in the future.
Yeah, and basically we're trying to combine different tools. So, one of the main tool is RevSeller, Keepa. How many? Because we're gonna, we're gonna show you all the sellers, inventory levels, and we have IP alert included on the tool, so you can kind of see. And our database is small. I don't know, what size are the other tools databases. We have about 3,800 different brands that I've accumulated with brands that I know that they make complaints, and then we have users submitted different brands and things like that. So we have a database of about 3,800 different brands that we know that they have a history of issuing complaints, IP complaints. But that's growing every day. I've just approved about 2 or 3 different brands that users are sending through the system. So it's gonna grow over time to kind of give you more alerts. And I really don't think that IP alert is something that you should use to decide not to sell that product, because it's for me it's more if I know that a brand has a history of complaining, I'm not gonna buy 100 or 500 units of that product because I know the brand might have issues with that, but I'm still gonna try to sell those products. And it's just a way for me to know when to go deep and when to buy not buy too many units.
Yeah, that's good. I've been getting dogged by North Face lately. They keep sending me all kinds of letters, which it's just more annoying than anything else, threatening me with lawsuits that they probably can't ever do. But
Right.
Let's say a word to Chan's question. He's asking about any services. Just One Dime does not have any services to help you reactivate your seller account, but I'm wondering if you have any, Alan.
No, the only one that I've used before, it's a little bit expensive. It's Cynthia Stain. She's a very well-known person in the Amazon in the Amazon how do you call it? Just and in the Amazon world, she has a service, and it's about $2,500. The only thing that is that I don't know if if it's 100%, they guarantee 100% that they're gonna be able to help you. But that's one service, and then there's another one.
What's her name, Alan?
Cynthia Stain.
Cynthia Stain?
Yeah. If you Google that and just put Amazon Cynthia Stain, I think her company is, let's see.
I don't think any of these companies hold out any promises or guarantees. Chan, my account has been deactivated, and when it took me 19 appeals before Amazon reactivated the account, but on the 19th one they did, and in that process was the first time I had ever actually paid for a service to restore my account, and they didn't do anything beyond what I could do on my own with my own ingenuity. So I can't even remember what they're called. Otherwise, I would say I don't recommend that one. But the biggest thing that we recommend is perseverance and continuing to submit appeals, because just because you appeal a couple times doesn't mean you've exhausted the appeal process. And most of the time, it seems, you get some sort of bot response or automated response, and you've just got to hang in there. Right. So you just showed it, Alan?
Yeah, I just showed you the website. I think the name of the website is egrowthpartners.com.
Okay.
And again, I don't recommend too many people, because I the only one I've used before is her company. It's a little bit expensive. I know there's a lot of different services and that that work. The only problem I will say is that it really depends on the reason why your account got suspended, and again the way that you write your appeal. Sometimes if you write it the way they want it, it's work the first time. Like you said, sometimes it's gonna take a few appeals in order for us to kind of give them what they're asking for or what they need. But it's just gonna depend on how well or how much experience the person has, or you, if you do it yourself.
Yeah, it's probably the single most frustrating aspect of having an Amazon business, in my experience, is having to deal with Amazon when it comes to high stake issues like this, because they have the ability to just completely shut down your account. And David, to answer your question, there's a number of reasons why you could have your account deactivated. It most commonly happens early in the account setup process because of some sort of documentation flaw in what you originally give them with your paperwork, or it's not always, and another thing is it's not always clear. So a lot of people will find their account deactivated in the very early going, like within 1 month or 2 months of when they got initial approval to set up the account. And it throws everybody into a panic when it happens, because if you can't have an active seller account, you can't do anything. Mm-hmm. Now, the good news is, in the vast majority of those cases, in fact, in every single case that I've ever been connected to, the account has gotten reinstated, sometimes in a week or two, sometimes, like in my case, it was 10 weeks. And that was a painful 10 weeks, but it did get restored. And I don't know of any cases, I'm sure they exist, but I don't know of any cases where somebody just couldn't get it back. Accounts will also be deactivated, David, if people try to open multiple accounts and Amazon finds that 2 accounts are connected, they'll shut down an account under those cases. If you get IPI complaints, intellectual property complaints, IP complaints rather, from brand rights owners or other things, a complaint doesn't automatically mean your account will get shut down. So this is what's strange. I've gotten, over the years, I've probably got hundreds of IP complaints, and there was one time when Amazon said, due to that complaint, we're going to shut down your account. And they gave me a warning, and I appealed the warning many times with documentation, and they still moved forward with the deactivation. So, and I think it was a false deactivation. In fact, after 19 appeals, when they restored my account, they sent me a very short email apologizing and saying, sometimes this happens, sorry for any inconvenience, it said. I said, yeah, 10 months of not being able to sell on Amazon was an extremely large inconvenience given where I'm at this stage of my business. So, that shouldn't make anybody panic, but it's a reality that you kind of have to deal with. Go ahead, Alan.
You said it was 10 weeks, right?
It was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, but I think it's the one thing that I always recommend is when you get a suspension, read that for the original email and try to understand what they're asking for, because sometimes it might be something that is very, like, I had one experience with one of our members that all they were asking was pictures on a JPEG or PNG format, and he kept sending PDF format, and that was it. They once we read the email and we asked him a few questions, and we figure, okay, he's sending a PDF file, and they're asking for a PNG picture of whatever they were asking. He changed that, and then that worked. Sometimes it could be as as small as just the format, or if they ask you for an electric bill and you keep sending your cell phone bill or something else, they're gonna keep rejecting the appeal, because they were asking for something very specific, and you're not sending them whatever they're asking. So I will recommend read that first email, understand what they're asking, and sometimes just make sure that the format that they're asking, that's the format you send them, and then you start that process. And sometimes they're gonna say, okay, now you send this, now we need this, we need something else, or we need to prove, we need you to prove something else, or things like that. So you always want to make sure that you're understanding, or you're reading the full email and understanding what they're asking, because that's gonna help you speed up the process of reinstating the account.
Yeah. And sometimes you just don't know, or you do exactly what they say and it doesn't get you anywhere. And I was after 19 appeals, I was starting to invent things to make my appeals different. It's like, well, I'll try this, I'll try that. And they kept just saying, we need more information. And I'm like, that's not helpful. And I kept adding to my appeal. So it got to be like 3 pages and nothing was working. And so I can actually remember that it was a Saturday morning. I woke up and if I'm honest, I was just a little tweaked about the whole thing. And out of frustration, I said, I know what I'll do. I'll just write one sentence, because they make you do the appeal in 3 sections. I said, I'm just going to write 1 or 2 sentences for each section. And I just blew off like a summary sentence for each section and submitted it. And that was the appeal that got the reinstatement. Now, I don't know if it was because it was short and simple or because, it went to the right person, they never explained to me why it was that one that worked. It was ridiculous. David's asking, will they deactivate over lack of use while I'm still putting everything together? I don't think so. If you go, a year without using it, at some point, a long length of time could result in a deactivation, but not a short period of time. So, David, I'm assuming that you're going to, whatever it is that you're having to put together, you'll get put together in a pretty brief amount of time. Arbitrage doesn't require a lot of preparation. So I would at least, be sending in a couple products, and there's not really anything that you need to do to prepare. Chan's asking for that service again. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I just shared that. But the only thing I will say, David, is if you're not using the account after like the second month, if you're for example, I have a second account that I opened last year. It's been about 6 months, but the first 2 months I didn't use it, and from the beginning I started paying the $39.99. So I paid the first month, I paid the second month, the third month, because I haven't used the account. They changed my status from pro to individual automatically. I don't know why. And one day I just log into the account, and I saw it a little bit different. So I figure, okay, this is, I just went to the settings and it was already an individual. So I changed it back to pro, and I keep paying. I haven't used that account because I'm working on setting up the business and everything to be able to sell. But they will do that sometimes. If you haven't used the account for a few months, they will bring it down to an individual. But you can change it back and keep paying the fee.
Yeah, you definitely want a professional account. And I guess my suggestion to David is that you just get started doing arbitrage as soon as you can. And you don't have to have your brand built before you do arbitrage, and you can do both. So you can get some items moving on Amazon FBA through your Seller Central account, and then continue building your brand. And when you're ready to launch your private label product, you could have been doing arbitrage this whole time, and you can do a small amount or a large amount, whatever you want. But to me, there's just nothing preventing you from finding and selling arbitrage products immediately. If your account is set up, you can do it, and you don't have to have gotten yourself to any particular place. Right. Alan, do you recommend Be Cool to manage your slow-moving inventory? Does it help keep your sales up with less effort? Questions being asked by SQ.
SQ. Yeah, well, I do recommend Be Cool, but not just for items that are slow-moving, because you have to remember, if an item is not selling fast, there might be a lot of different factors why. So you want to make sure what's the problem. Or what you need to do with these products. But Be Cool is going to allow you to start doing that competition more automatic, because if there's other sellers on the listings that you have products, you're going to start doing competing with the price every 15 minutes. Be Cool checks the listings every 15 minutes, and if there's a way for you to compete by lowering the price, sometimes bringing the price higher, Be Cool is going to do it. So I do recommend Be Cool as part of your business for more automatic competition, and it's definitely going to help you make more sales. Usually we see an increase of about 15 to 20% on your sales, but if you have maybe 10 SKUs, it might not be a big difference. But if you have 50 or over 100 SKUs, you're gonna see a big difference on sales because Be Cool is gonna be working every hour with different all of your listings to try to make you more sales, and you can put your minimum and maximum within a good profit ROI percentage, so you can compete and get the buy box more often.
Yeah, the nice thing about the Be Cool repricer is there are times when the price competitors will sell and fall off the listing, and the price will increase, and our Be Cool will adjust and actually increase your price. And so there are products where the buy box is lower when you purchase the product, and then when you sell, and you end up making money based on the repricing that Be Cool does. It doesn't just lower the price to keep up with any Amazon rascal that's trying to drop the price, but it also will bump up when somebody else sells out, for example.
Right.
Oh, that's Shane too. Look at they had an argument and now they're in separate rooms. I'm just kidding. So listen, we would love for you guys to subscribe to the ROI Scanner YouTube channel. That way you'll get notifications when we're going to go live. We can also chat on the individual videos. If you want to leave a comment, you can go back and watch older videos that we've done. Our plan is to meet every Monday. So subscribe to ROI Scanner on the YouTube channel, like the video, and check out the links in the description below. We have links to the Amazon Arbitrage Mastery membership that we do through Just One Dime. Alan and I are both a part of that. And we also have links to ROI Scanner if you want to participate in the 7-day free trial and purchase that to use. We're getting really good feedback on how it helps people to move their arbitrage business along. So thanks for participating today. It's fun to be able to address your questions, and we'll do it again next Monday.
Sure. Take care, guys.
All right. We'll see you later.